Hello, this is Warpath 1985. Speaking in today's video review, I should be discussing the Transformers Earthrise Leader Class Doubledealer, or in Japan, Doublecouder. Now, the figure itself is quite strange, since it was released during that general wave where you can tell that Earthrise was not really doing that very good. Budget cuts because of the pandemic at the time, and not only that, many of the figures have harsh, differing QC issues. Most obviously, will probably be Blue Streak with some Blue Streak, not really Blue Streak, but Blue Streak, Prowl, Ironhide, and a couple other figures that are released around that same time. I'm not using clear plastic. Will often shatter or break. That might be due to because various things were similar to Metal Creation, not Metal Creation, but Metal's Master Universe Classics figure, Green Goddess, where she was suffering from a defect that was caused by the various factory machines, accidentally injecting was allowing air pockets inside the figure, which will cause the figure to slowly but surely shatter. So probably that's why a lot of those figures shattered very easily, because due to the majority of the factories going pretty much out of business because due to the pandemic, and also majority of the offices, more as a factory general management, whatever, kind of just having a tough time. And not to even mention all the other big cases that was happening back in 2020 when this figure was released. But yeah, this figure is different. A good example of that, one of the biggest examples of you can tell this figure was kind of hard budget cut, really badly, was the elbow joints and the legs, the entirety of the calf section is very flawed. You can tell that it was very much just budgeted to the point of which that why even try? You might as well just wait until the Kingdom to release this figure to have a much more easier time. Because, of course, by then when Kingdom released, they had a much more easier time producing toys. Except for all this quality issue with yellowing, with a lot of Kingdom Roachers had. But besides that, the figure does come with a lot of accessories. Some of which came with the original, but obviously with the giant rocket launcher was intercontinental missile, or ICBM for short per se. Which you can separate into a blaster and a missile, and can both combine to the ICBM. This piece was reused for the Micromaster. What's going on? I forget his name. Rocket Base, I believe it's called. But yeah, it was used for that. Set this off to the side. He also comes with a small little 50 caliber machine gun. It's very nice. Two of these little smoke, or more or less grenade launchers. A little radar, and finally this little tail wing piece, and also launch platform and stabilizers as well. In total, this figure has approximately, just separate these figures up in here. Let's see, got that there. 7 accessories, which is a lot, especially for a leader class. Not many say that they should use that figure plastic for the legs and elbows. I do agree with that, but also I kind of like the addition with these weapon systems and general accessories, because the problem with the vehicle mode is that it's very bare. Obviously, the main gimmick with the vehicle mode and general check with the bird mode. I should have just phrased my head for that. is the ICBM, both in the Condor and ICBM vehicle. I forget what it's called, but yeah. Which is fine, but I just like the general idea that you get all these little awesome accessories, like this little grenade launchers, the 50 caliber machine gun, the launch platform, the radar. They're very fun little accessories. Now, sadly, that does mean that kind of doesn't make this figure not as worth it as the various contemporaries like Earthrise Prime and the other their class figure, Astro Train. There you go, Astro Train, which was re-released from not Earthrise but Siege, but otherwise still released in 729. But if you had the previously reviewed, or I personally previously reviewed these figures, the Samurai Spiritual Unit 3, I believe it's called, Knock and Scar, which of course can fit into the figure's little cassette holder, or more or less engine cover. And obviously you can pretend that he's activating his original Shimon gimmick, where he's Autobot, but if you add in Scar, figures have a tough time coming out, because I have very large hands. And put Scar here. You can pretend that he is now. Oh no, it's going up. Work with me. A Decepticon. By flipping out these little panels. Which is very cool. Another gimmick he does have, and what was it, accessory I forgot to mention, is this little tiny engine block, which is not really mentioned in the general instructions. I assume this is supposed to go with the little cassette / Power Masters or God Masters if you're into the Japanese continuity, which I am, but yeah, just preferring these as Power Masters, since this figure is more based on the Doubledealer, the American character, instead of Doublecouder, both sides that. Yeah, you can give him the little engine block, which looks pretty cool. I actually saw this on the internet while I was looking up these little figures. I'll put an image of that here, and the person who actually did it. But yeah, I believe that's probably what it's for. Because, again, it's not being mentioned here, which is why I didn't mention it earlier. Because, again, it's not being mentioned in the box and where's instructions. So I assume it's supposed to go with that. Similar to, I forget what figure it was. It was like another figure. But at least Kingdom that had like a accessory that go with a different character. That wasn't being mentioned. I can't remember exactly. But besides that, the figure does have really good articulation, even though the figure's general spec is pure chonk. But sadly, is limited to the budgetary cuts of Earthrise. Has a very limited ball joint at the head. Does clash when you move the head on the little ICBM connector piece. The arms can do a full 360, can move outwards and inwards, has a nice rotation at the bicep, has a very nice elbow bend to the transformation, has very nice swivels at the wrist, can bend upwards and downwards. If you want to do the Han Solo aesthetic, if you want to, most poses per se. He has a very good, very nice waist joint here. Can do a pretty good kick. Has a decent knee bend, almost 9 degrees basically, and a absolutely amazing ankle tilt. And the figure can bend its foot like forwards if you want to have him in a lean position, but that's also due to the transformation, similar to the wrists and elbows. That's all the section for the robot mode, and I'm doing a jump cut to the ICBM truck mode because transmission is not that very fun. But so is that much later. And here he is in this little ICBM vehicle mode, more or less a carrier mode. And I do have a couple of grabs for this figure's vehicle mode. One of which is the very egregious gaps, which is caused by the transformation, moving to Condor mode, but also by the little launch platform. Now, obviously, the launch platform was designed to work with the Earthrise Micromasters combiners and also the little roads pieces as well, and more connectors. But this is actually a really big flaw, because as you can see right here, let me just move the camera upwards. You can tell that this figure was not play tested that well, because similar to grapple as well. Besides that, because due to the piece being like using two separate pegs, it causes the ports to like push and force like to like inwards for some reason, and because of that, it starts like stress a little bit. So I caution to not really leave it in this vehicle mode, or else it might cause some sort of breakage or cracking problems, or stress it even more, which is not very good. But also, I wish they saw this more or less notices before releasing this figure, because it causes the weapon systems to like point inwards, mostly the radar in particular. The missile launcher, Morse missile itself, is fine, but the radar just bend inwards quite significantly due to this weird QC issue that's universal with all of Doubledealers, due to this little launch platform piece right here. It sucks, but it's 2020 shenanigans. Bad shenanigans per se. Now, this little vehicle has a lot of accessories. One of which is obviously the ICBM. You obviously fold out these little stabilizers. Technically, I can't remember what they're exactly called. And you can fold out the SBM like so, and yeah, there it is. You can also fold on the little I forgot what it's called. Launch platform. There you go. I don't know. I forgot about it. Down for the little bridges and stuff. We fold upwards for what's kind of bridges and stuff. You can also fold it even more to be much more compact and not stick out as much. Also hide head a lot better as well, which is fantastic. You also have all the weapon systems on the arms and on top of the more towards the bottom of the forearms, which is pretty good. Once again, I absolutely love the little including these little smoke grenades and general grenade launchers, wide radar, including the 50 caliber machine gun, because it just looks very visually pleasing, even though it's very blocky in the 80s per se. Now, of course, you can obviously use the Powmaster / cassette gimmick with this figure in ICBM mode, and it works pretty much the same as in robot mode, technically, but a little more different. However, you can't really have this word is quite early. Now, you can't really have the actual Powmaster port point upwards, because it might cause some collision with the actual SBM, which causes the point a little bit upwards, like just ever so slightly. But it looks fine, I guess. It does look a little garish, but it's fine by me. And if you're curious, no, you cannot fit knock or scar in this little area where the little engine block piece is at, which is very sucky. I'm trying to put this missile back in place, but yeah, it's a fun little vehicle mode. It definitely does a little bit more fun when they had the little Spider Troll set, which more or less further entices. If you own this figure, you might as well get the Spider Troll set for a Knock and Scar. And obviously for Wing Thing and Rumble, if you're not particularly interested with the new Rumble, which if you aren't, why? Besides that, we'll move on to the Condor mode, and the most egregious problem with this figure. Now here is Doubledealer in his Condor mode. Now here's where the majority of this figure's problems almost reside in. This, yeah, I don't know how the best way to put it. You can't really do anything with it in the Condor mode other than just slap it onto here and just call it a day. But the only problem is that it's kind of barely secured in there, which kind of sucks if you ask me. Another problem with the Condor mode it does have is with the legs. Now frequently, including myself, the little mushroom joints here, which were designed to not actually come off, but it still does because the redesign are really weird. It was basically Hasbro's like first attempt trying to do a double mushroom joint that you see a lot more often with many of the newer figures, at least in Kingdom actually, all the way to currently right now in Legacy Evolution. I don't have a current example of that, but yeah, it's a thing that's still being used currently. But because of that being like a way precursor to it, it kind of really sucks. Because it will sometimes pop off due to you pretty much forcing the legs into the actual waist of the figure to form the tail of the Condor mode. And because of that, it will sometimes cause it to just pop off. I'm not really like sure how is that even possible, because the angle where like the legs are at, how they transform in, and not only that, because they have like this little key hook with the actual like mushroom joints. So once again, I'm not really sure how is that even possible for it to happen, but it is. So yeah, that's kind of a concern if you're curious. Even more of a concern if you break it, because although yes, Doubledealer is pretty easy to get, it's not that very fun to get to buy another Doubledealer or another just Leader class figure in general, because you know you just wasted $50 and you had to spend another $50 for the same figure. So yeah, not very fun. Another problem is with the Power Master / cassette piece right here, because what they recommend is you grabbing this little canopy piece and just plopping it over here. But this is a really bad idea, because what this causes is for it to put lost stress onto the little mushroom peg here. It is fine-ish that they did kind of like had a little bit of hindsight and just made this a little bit much more malleable, and the general sturdier plastic for the actual mushroom joint it connects, but does not apply to the actual cassette piece itself, the chest piece, because that doesn't mean you put a lot of stress on it and make break. So yeah, I'm not sure why the hell they thought it was a good idea in the first place to just put the one over here, especially on the corner. So weird. But obviously you can put Scar in here, and you can secure him with this canopy, which technically in concept should keep him there, but as you can tell, it does a pretty poor job at it, which is why I more just recommend just flipping it over. Just flip it over, just leave it like that, just call it a day. But yeah, I have no clue why they thought this was a good idea, but yeah, it's very flawed. However, you still get a missile penis mode, is the best way to put it, which is pretty cool. But also, yeah, this weird thing where just the little nub will just come off sometimes. Like mine, I don't know if it does. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, mine just kind of came off out of the box. Probably just Amazon shenanigans, but yeah. It's very weird. Shouldn't do that, though. If you're curious. Shouldn't do that. But yeah, it's weird with my figure. Now, the problem this figure does have is due to the storaging of this figure, the feet are like a little bit stressed. Just a little bit. Just ever so slightly just stressed. Which is fine, because I mostly just displayed the figure in raw mode because the condom word is so weird. But besides that, this condor mode per se has some articulation. Has a swivel at the neck, can move forwards and backwards, and a chicken type of movement per se. The mouth can open and close. The wings can flap and are articulated with mini ratchets, which is nice. The legs are slightly articulated, can move only forwards, and so can the feet as well, but a little bit more or less just up and down per se, at a almost 180 degree bend was target point per se, which is fine. Another problem this condom remote also has is that you kind of like have to like figure out where to put all these accessories. I just recommend just putting a lot of them around the bottoms of the forearms and on the sides, and maybe put the radar machine gun on top. That way, it's your choice. Now, what was my final thoughts for this figure? I do recommend Doubledealer because Doubledealer is actually a pretty good toy, but he's very flawed due to the various problems that Hasbro was having due to the 2020 pandemic. Because of that, this figure and many figures that came out and they're in the same wave, almost around time with the same wave they came out, which is wave 2, I'm curious, were very flawed. It had a lot of QC issues, including this figure, like I mentioned before, with this weird mushroom joint leg shenanigans. Besides that, I recommend him because he's fun. That's it, because he's just a fun figure. I personally find this figure to be really fun, alright? I really like his gimmick, where his faction changing general gimmick system. I really like the design of the figure, except for the condor mode, because it's kind of just a thing. But it's a problem with the original design as well. But yeah, I recommend it because he's just a fun figure. He's just a fun figure. He struggles with the condor mode, but he's a fun figure. He's flawed, but fun. But yeah, that's all for this review. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I shall see you next time.